everyone, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to create this Send Me Flowers bracelet. It looks a little bit like flowers with some exclusive beads, and if you want to check out exactly which ones they are, look below the video in the description, and we'll put a link there back to the website. Gather up your materials, and let's get started. So to get started here, we have some exclusives. We have IrisDuos, DiscDuos, StormDuos, 4mm bicones, along with 11 O's in 2 different colors and 15 O's. I also have here an Athena cast cup button in metal. So to begin, we are going to start with the center. I'm going to add an 11 in both of my colors, the purple in the middle, green's on the outside, on one side of my thread with one needle, and let that drop down to the other side. This is a 2-needle project, so we have one piece of thread with a needle on each side, and we're going to bring our needle and thread, which are equal, about 5 feet long, and we are going to bring them back towards the back here. That's going to just decorate the front with a tiny little bit of a color there. And coming out the back here, I want you to add 1 and 2 of your green beads, 1 and 2 green bead. And then what we're going to do is we are going to pick up our first of our IrisDuo bead. Our IrisDuo bead, we're going to make sure that when we pick it up and use it, that we are going always in the same direction, meaning that the rounded side is to the top and the flat side is to the bottom. We have 2 needles going on here, flat side to the bottom, rounded side to the top, and I have a needle coming out each of those sides. Once that needle comes out each of those sides there, we are going to split it so that the needle is going to pick up and get ready to do our StormDuo and our DiscDuo center. Now that we're coming out of our IrisDuo here, we are going to pick up one of our green beads in the green color on each needle. And then we're going to pick up one of our purple beads. And these are the 11 O's in each needle. Now we're getting ready to do our sides. So the StormDuos here, when you look at them, are going to basically go around the cup button. You want to go through the StormDuo bead so that way it's coming from the rounded outer edge into that swirled middle section there. From there, you're going to pick up one of your DiscDuos here. And you're going to go through the DiscDuo, and then we're going to pick up a StormDuo on the opposite side. So this time we're doing curve in, and we're going towards the outside. See how that's going to nicely kind of point those in towards the center. Let that drop down on your thread and needle. Now you're going to take the left needle. You're going to pick up another StormDuo, again going through the thicker side in toward the middle where it has that little curvature. We're going to go to the same DiscDuo bead and go through it, through the second hole. And then we're going to add our next StormDuo bead going through the center of the curve and out through the back side. Let that all fall down next to your cup button. And that gets our first little section here of our piece. Now we're going to take the right needle towards the right and the left towards the left. And to begin, we're going to do 1 15-0. And then we are going to do a 1 and 2 of our purpley color, and then another 15-0. We're going to take our needle and thread from the first hole of our StormDuo down through the second hole of our StormDuo. And that's just going to then decorate that side right there. We're going to mimic that on this side, adding in one of our 15s, 2 11s, another 15, and we're coming back up through the first hole and out through that DiscDuo and the StormDuos as well. Once you're there on one side, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So flip over and add your seed beads along the outer edge, making it so those StormDuos have that little kiss on the outer side. Once you've got your beads going around the side of that of the StormDuos there, around the DiscDuo, you can see that I've already done a connection point just so you can see it. We're going to use the IrisDuo here, doing a crisscross method through the 4mm bicone, and then another IrisDuo, and then start over. So to do so, we are coming out of this StormDuo. I want you to add an 11 in your primary color, which is your purple, and then your green. Then you're going to add an IrisDuo through the hole on the right-hand side. Post that, you add a green and a gold 15. You're also going to add one of your crystals and let that drop down. From here on the opposite side, we are going to mimic it, adding an 11-0 in the purple, 11-0 in the green. Go up through the IrisDuo, through the left side. Same thing here. We're going to add a green and a gold. I'm going to go to the 4mm bicone that's already on there on the right needle. And with this left needle, I'm going to go through the opposite way, left towards right. Give a nice tight pull, and you have thread then coming out both sides of the bicone. From here, we are going to repeat an 11 with a 15 first, and then we are going to do another one of our IrisDuos. This one up through the left side because I'm on the left-hand needle. And then the same thing on the opposite side, going up the right side and done. Now, after you finish this, it's time to do your next little flower section here. So we're going to do our floral design and then keep going, creating the base until we come back and add in more crystals and seed beads. Want a monthly dose of inspiration while stocking up on your beading supplies? PotomacBeads Treasure Box is a monthly subscription where you can save up to 60% off new and exciting materials. Every month, you'll receive an assortment of unique and exclusive beads in a variety of colors and shapes. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished beader, the Treasure Box will inspire you to create unique projects for yourself and to gift to others. Unleash your creativity with a Treasure Box subscription. Visit PotomacBeads.com/subscriptions today or click on the link below in the description to get links to get back to our website. Once you get finished with your base design here, and you might end up with 5 or 6 flowers depending on the size of your wrist, we are going to end the bracelet with a loop. I'm doing a loop because I have the button on the other side, but if you have a clasp, you're more than welcome to just use a wire guard and put that on there. Coming out of my last IrisDuo, I put on an 11 in both colors and then followed by a 15. I have one 4mm bead on my right needle, and I'm going to take my left needle through in the same direction. So the thread's coming out both the same side. This is the first time we've done this here rather than crisscrossing through, and I'll tell you why. When I make a loop for my button, I prefer to have it go into one point rather than being wider open. I find that you risk losing your bracelet a lot less. It doesn't really matter now what color you do the loop in because the loop itself is going around the gold button. I'm going to go in and do my loop in my purple seed beads. So I'm going in here and I'm just doing a collection of purple. Normally with a 14mm cup button, I do 24 to 26 beads. This one here is slightly smaller, 12mm. So I'm going to do a couple less beads, just clean up my bead mat. Once you have your beads on your thread and needle, depending on what button you're using, if you've got one out of your button collection, because I know everybody's got a button collection, you can go in and kind of look at it and eyeball. I'm going to keep cleaning up, add a couple more to my collection here. And I think I've got all my purple beads cleaned up. And now I'm going to bring my thread and needle back through that 4mm crystal. Now the other thread is just hanging out there. We want to reinforce. So we're going to take, and you want to make sure that this loop does go through your end before you do that. You're going to take the other one now and you are going to go through as well. That's going to put 2 strands of thread through the loop, which anytime you have a clasp that you're attaching to, the loop, the ends, the areas that are going to get a lot of wear and tear, you always want to make sure to have at least 2 strands going through there. Once you have both needles coming out through that 4mm bead, we're going to get ready to separate them out, one to the right, one to the left, and go down the sides decorating with more seed beads and crystals. Once you're down and you have your loops here, obviously, you are coming out of them, and I've started a little bit just to show you how it was and then got excited and kept going. When you're coming out of your loop here, you're going to split your needles and you're going to put onto the needle after going through your IrisDuo, going through the seed beads, the IrisDuo. Coming out the IrisDuo, I want you to put, just to get to the outer edge here, 115 along with 2 11s. Take your needle and thread then and sew through, and this will be common here. You can see on the opposite side, showing through the 2 11s and the 15 that are above the StormDuo. This is going to put right on the top then the opportunity to put 2 15s, a crystal and 2 15s, and then come down through the 15 and the 2 11s. From here then, coming out those 2 beads, we're going to work to basically crisscross through our project. And to do so, we are going to be adding some 15s and our crystals along with some of our 11s too. We're going to be utilizing that center 4mm bead that we crisscross through, which is why we crisscross through it. And you're going to put on your thread and needle 1 and 2 of your 15s, 1 crystal, 1 15, and then you're going to do 1 and 2 of your green beads. Go to that crystal there, and I already put it on, but you're going to do a 15 go through the crystal and a 15 on the opposite side. And you can see how that links. From here then, same thing, 2 15s when coming out of it. Then you're going to do 2 11s, 1 15, and your crystal. And then you're going to do 1 and 2 15s. And then you're going to go in once again into the beads that sit right on the side of the StormDuo, going through the 2 11s and the 15. You can see how that kind of loops up on the side. Now to start again, to get that pattern, coming out here, you're doing 1, 2 of your 15s, along with a crystal, along with the 2 15s, and then down through the 15 and the 2 11s after the StormDuo. Once you're out through there, that's when we're going to do that crisscrossing through our crystal in the middle. So we are going to do 1 2 15s, followed by 1 crystal, 1 15, 2 of our green 11s, and then because we're the first one going through, 1 15 there through the middle of the crystal. And then on the opposite side, we're going to do 1 15, 2 greens. After those 2 greens, I'm going to do a 15 crystal, 2 15s. Coming over to this opposite side then, scoop on up through the 11s and the 15s that sit right above the StormDuo. That completes that one side. Now the other side, we are going to do that mirror. So 1 and 2 15s along with a crystal, along with 2 15s, and down through the 15 and 2 11s on the side of the StormDuo. When I'm there on the side of the StormDuo then, that's when I'm going to do that crisscross through. Need to get out a couple more of my metallic bricks green ones here. On this needle, I'm going to do 1 and 2 15s, followed by a crystal, followed by 1 15 and 2 11s. Go into the middle crystal there that's next. Sew through the 15 that you just put on before it or after it, the 4mm crystal, as well as the 15 that's after. And see how that brings that around and has that crystal there. From here, you're going to go in and do the same thing to get up to those seed beads and continue on that pattern as we build this second layer onto our base. Once you get to the end here, what we're going to do is mimic the other side, which was 2 of our green beads, 2 of our green beads, and then 1 of our gold beads, and into the IrisDuo. I'm going to take my needle and thread up through the cup button and the seed beads that are leading up to that Athena cast cup button, down to the other side, and through the IrisDuo. I'm going to let this needle hang out here, then right after the IrisDuo, and I'm going to mimic the same thing with the opposite side. So coming out the seed beads, we're going to do 2 of our green, then 1 of our 15 gold, up through the IrisDuo, through the seed beads, through your clasp, through the cup button, down through on the opposite side, down through the seed beads, and out through the IrisDuo. That has reinforced our clasp then 3 times, which is great for the button here. And we have 2 strands ready to go on the outer edge of our IrisDuos, one on the right and one on the left. Time for the third and final layer here. You can see I brought my thread and needle out, so it's coming out that corner 4mm bead. On the left-hand side, I've already done this, but it is really simple. All right, ready. We have just our 15s and our crystals sitting here. I'm shortening that thread edge there, and I'm going to pick up 1 and 2 of my 15s, 1 crystal, 1 and 2 15s. I'm going to sew into the crystal and the 15-0 that sit right before that little Xing effect. Then coming out of there, I'm going to add another 4mm crystal, sew into the 15 and the crystal that's right after it. Just like that. That puts 3 crystals right in a row there. Coming out then, 1 and 2 15s, 1 crystal, 1 and 2 15s, going up to the crystal that sits at the top of the peak there. 1 and 2 15s, 1 crystal, 1 and 2 15s, into the crystal right after the IrisDuo, as well as into the 15 that's after it. Once you're there, add another 4 and go into the 15 and the 4 that's after it. That pops kind of right in the middle of that X there. And then we add our crystals along the outer edge. 2 15s, 1 crystal, 2 15s, and keep going up to the highest crystal peak. And then coming out, same on the opposite side. So the sides really get decorated with those beautiful crystals the whole way along all the little flowers. Once you get to the end, you just need to work your thread and needle back down the side, going through all the 15s, the 11s, and this is your opportunity. You already have 2 strands going through the loop, but go ahead and put a 3rd strand there. You can see I'm going kind of straight down this line of seed beads. Sometimes it'll let you go the whole line, sometimes it won't. So I'm going to pull that through, and then take this needle and thread, go through your IrisDuo, through your seed beads, around your loop. With the other one, I would stop it right here at the IrisDuo, and that way when we come back around, it's easy to tie off there. Now this is a beautiful bouquet, hence the Bring Me Flowers, with those crystal pops on the outside. Can't wait to see all the different changes too that you make. Once you get those thread and needles back down to the side, go ahead and just burn off your thread ends to finish up your bracelet. So flashy and pretty. Thanks so much for joining me in this Send Me Flowers bracelet. It's a fun way to use some Potomac exclusives with a lot of bling. Remember, if you need any materials, look below the video. In the description, we put links there so you can get back to our website and gather up your supplies if you still need any or want to check out a lot of different colors that you can make it in. If you haven't yet, give us a comment and let us know exactly what you love about the videos or what you want to see more of. As always, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything from us here at PotomacBeads. Thanks so much for watching, Potomac Beaters, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.